Galactic Council Chamber fell silent as the elderly human shuffled forward, his walking stick tapping against the polished floor. Ambassador Cain had seen 87 years pass by, his hair now silver-white and his frame bent with age. The assembled delegates from across the galaxy watched with barely concealed amusement as he made his way to the speaker's podium. "Look at this frail creature," whispered the Rexian representative, his forearms gesturing dismissively. "Earth sends us their weakest specimen to negotiate." The Vorten ambassador clicked her mandibles in agreement. "Their species grows decrepit. So quickly. How pathetic." Laughter rippled through the chamber as Cain finally reached his position. The various alien species present had gathered to discuss humanity's application for protected status under the Galactic Preservation Act. Most viewed humans as a primitive species that had somehow stumbled into space travel, destined to be consumed by the harsh realities of the cosmos. Cain adjusted his glasses and looked up at the towering forms surrounding him. The Rexian stood 9 feet tall with razor-sharp claws. The Vortens possessed mandibles that could crush steel. The Zelker delegation displayed rows of serrated teeth that marked them as apex predators from their home world. Each species had evolved as the dominant force on their respective planets. "Honored delegates," Cain began, his voice carrying despite its apparent frailty. "I come before you today not to beg for protection, but to offer clarification." More chuckles echoed through the chamber. The Rexian representative stood, his claws clicking against his ceremonial armor. "Old human, your species barely survived one global conflict. You fight amongst yourselves over resources while we conquered entire star systems. What could you possibly clarify for us?" Cain smiled, an expression that somehow carried more weight than his aged appearance suggested. "You misunderstand our nature. You see weakness where strength resides." The Vorten ambassador leaned forward, her compound eyes gleaming. "Strength? You lack natural weapons, proper armor, enhanced senses. Your world is a garden compared to ours. We evolved in environments that would kill your kind within hours." "True," Cain acknowledged. "Earth is relatively peaceful. No acid rain, no predators larger than our elephants, no toxic atmospheres. But you assumed this made us weak." The Zelker delegate hissed, revealing those impressive teeth. "It did. You are prey animals pretending to be explorers." Cain's smile never wavered. "Let me tell you about a human named Thompson. He lived in Africa studying lions. One day, a pride surrounded his camp. No weapons, no armor, just him and his knowledge. He stood up, made himself appear larger, and stared directly into the eyes of the alpha male. The lion backed down. "Foolish luck," scoffed the Rexian. "Or consider Rodriguez," Cain continued. "She spent months in Antarctica, temperatures that would freeze most of your blood solid. When her shelter failed, she survived 3 days in the open by sheer determination. Your Rexian ancestors would have died in minutes." The chamber grew quieter, but skepticism remained evident. Cain tapped his walking stick against the floor. "You think yourselves apex predators because you evolved claws and teeth and armor, but predators hunt for food. They kill what they need and move on. Humans are something different entirely." "And what is that, old one?" asked the Vorten, her tone mocking. Cain's eyes hardened, and for a moment something primal flickered behind his aged features. "We are persistence hunters. We are endurance killers. We are the species that looked at every other creature on our planet and decided which ones lived and which ones died." The laughter died completely. "Your Rexian ancestors hunted in packs for a few hours and rested for days," Cain continued, his voice growing stronger. "Humans tracked mammoths across continents. We followed them for weeks, never stopping, never giving up. When the mammoth finally collapsed from exhaustion, we were still there." He began walking slowly around the podium, his stick punctuating each step. "You evolved to be fast, strong, deadly in short bursts. We evolved to never stop coming. Ever?" The Zelker delegate shifted uncomfortably. "That was your primitive past. Was it?" Cain asked. "When humans decided your Zelker home world had resources we needed, how long did your resistance last? 6 months? A year? We didn't fight you with claws or teeth. We fought you with mathematics and logistics, and the absolute certainty that we would not quit until we won." Murmurs spread through the chamber as delegates began to remember recent human conflicts. "The Vorten Empire controlled 47 star systems when humans arrived in your sector," Cain noted. "How many do you control now?" The Vorten ambassador's mandibles clicked nervously. 17. "And you gave up the other 30, Not because we destroyed your fleets in glorious battle, but because we made it economically impossible for you to maintain them. We played a longer game than you could comprehend. Cain stopped and faced the assembly directly. You laugh at my age, at my apparent weakness, but I have lived through 4 galactic conflicts, outlasted 3 Rexian governments, and watched your Zelker eternal empire crumble. I am here not as Earth's weakest representative, but as proof of human tenacity. The chamber fell completely silent. You call yourselves apex predators, Cain said, his voice now carrying absolute authority despite his frail appearance. But predators are limited by their biology, their instincts, their immediate needs. Humans transcended those limitations long ago. He gestured to the assembled aliens with his walking stick. You hunt when hungry. We farm entire worlds. You fight for territory. We reshape galaxies. You evolve over millions of years. We adapt within generations. Cain's smile returned, but now it carried something that made even the largest delegates step back slightly. You may be predators, but we are the apex. We are the species that decided which predators lived and which became extinct. On Earth, we chose to preserve some of you in zoos. The implications hung heavy in the air. So no, Cain concluded, humanity does not need protection under the Galactic Preservation Act. The question you should be asking yourselves is whether you qualify for protection from us. He turned and began his slow walk back toward the exit, his walking stick tapping rhythmically against the floor. The application is withdrawn. Good day, delegates. As the chamber doors closed behind the elderly human, the assembled representatives of dozens of warrior races sat in stunned silence, each wondering when exactly they had stopped being the hunters and become the hunted. Please follow my channel for more videos. One click from you can change my life.